I saw something before, and I was going to ask you about it, but I misread it, I guess. We also have a lot of shootings going on.
A lot of what?
Shootings still going on. Shootings. Bang, bang.
Yeah, oh yeah. I meant to bring this up. Unfortunately in Louisiana, two troopers, black troopers I might add, were chasing a white man in his car with his 6-year-old son in the front, and they shot at him and hit him 18 times, and 5 bullets struck his son and killed him. The little boy was being buried today. And where's the outrage? It seems like the only time there's any outrage is when a white cop shoots a black guy. Here you have 2 black troopers who shot. Now, I know that most of the facts are not in yet, okay? But I mean, if you're going to talk about cops using excessive force, how come nobody's mentioning the fact that these 2 black cops shot at a man and his son, okay, killing the boy. The man was killed as well, but killing a 6-year-old.
The man died finally?
Yeah.
Okay, because he went to the hospital. He's still alive.
I believe he died. But the kid was being buried today, 6 years old. I mean, you talk about a blatant misuse of firepower.
Well, the cops are being charged for murder, too.
I know, 2nd-degree murder.
Number one. Number two,
they say they were trying to serve a warrant, yet they didn't have a warrant in their car. They didn't have a warrant with them.
And the guy had no pending.
And he had nothing exactly. He had they did a computer check and there was nothing outstanding against him. So why?
Who knows?
And
knowing that they're wearing body cams.
Well, the 3rd cop had a body cam. These 2 troopers did not have one, but the 3rd cop who responded had a body cam. Okay? I haven't heard anything about that yet, other than the fact that he had a body cam on him.
Pictures of it, so
No, I said I haven't heard anything other than the fact that he had a body cam.
Yeah. No, I heard the other two. Heard the shooters also had it. That's why you could see him with their guns like this. It's got to be from that
I don't
position.
know.
If you're seeing this position, from this position going this way, with the gun in front of you, it's got to be. You got to have a body cam. Otherwise, how else would you be seeing it?
Well, because they're claiming that the 3rd responding officer who didn't do any shooting, his body cam recorded that. It's not that they had a body cam.
No,
his body cam recorded it.
I heard they had body cam too, because it looks like one of those video games where you see the guy's hand and he's shooting, and you can't. The 3rd cop couldn't have shot.
Well, like I said, the full report isn't out yet, but to me that would be an outrage. I mean,
what is SNK?
It's SNL, Saturday Night Live.
But you got here SNK.
So I typed the wrong letter.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure.
If you look at your typewriter, you'll see that L and K are very close to each other.
Okay, English teacher. No, I just saw it. I wasn't sure if there was something else that you were trying to say, or we'll have to change that also.
Then Larry David was on, which was pretty funny. They were picketing outside 30 Rock, Hispanic or Latino organization was picketing, calling Trump a racist. And they were offering $5,000 to anybody who would, on the air, call Trump a racist. So Larry David gets up in the audience and says, Trump is a racist. And then he mentioned that, and he said, I hope they're going to pay me, They said if he takes the $5,000, he'll get fired. Well, it'll go to charity, but that's beside the point.
Get fired.
Who?
They said in the news if he actually takes the $5,000.
Larry David isn't on contract for NBC. Doesn't make a difference. He was just in the audience. That's all.
Who is he? He's not on contract with NBC.
No, he doesn't have a show with them this year.
Isn't he on Saturday Night Live?
No, he was just there in the audience, and he did this. Now chances are he would have. I mean, Trump heard and knew what was going on outside. So I mean, when they did the run through, Larry David did the same thing. So he knew Larry David was going to do it. Because if this is one of the things that they showed at the beginning on the clips. When Trump is a racist, and he says he's rolling his eyes, and he said, "Oh, who is that?" And he said, "Oh, Larry David." Like what a surprise.
Larry Davis is who now? Maybe I'm getting my people mixed up.
What?
I think maybe
Curb Your Enthusiasm. He was on HBO. Larry David. Larry David played Bernie Sanders in one of the skits
on Saturday Night Live.
I think a few weeks before, but he's a guest. He's not on contract for them with them.
If he's a contract with
okay,
them
okay, Felix. You want to argue?
I don't know.
You want to argue? He was a guest. That's all it was.
All they said was if he accepts the money, he would not have a job.
I don't think Larry David has to worry about working on Saturday Night Live ever again. He's got a very good following of his own.
I don't know, but everybody.
But all that's doing is getting the Latino organization off the hook, because he did say it. Chances are he would have given the money to charity anyway, a charity of his choosing,
Okay, whatever. I mean, let's not. You're saying chances are, and I'm saying chances are, so we both don't know what we're talking about. That we can. But anyway, stupidity upon stupidity. That's all it is. And did you hear anything in the news at all about those kids that I was telling you about? Singing those songs and cursing?
No. Again, that doesn't mean it didn't happen. I just didn't hear anything,
No, I'm just saying, you didn't want to listen to them. I would play it on the radio, on here, but I don't have. I wouldn't know how to.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Know how to bleep it out.
It's not that. I just wouldn't give them a venue.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what else we got cooking.
Well, we've been on almost an hour.
This weekend.
Getting close to our witching hour, actually.
Not even close. This weekend.
Okay.
In New York City, just in New York City, there were 11 pedestrian killings. And, the big thing is, the mayor, de Blasio, he cut down the speed limit to 25 miles an hour in the city. And he's been working so hard, he says, to try to eliminate, pedestrian deaths. And 11 just in one weekend. I don't even know how many people were injured, but I'm talking 11 deaths. That's a lot of people.
Well, it's look, I don't have to. You're in the transportation business. If anybody has ever spent any time in driving through Manhattan during any part of a business day, it's like you're taking your life in your hands.
Well, I think most of the killings are outside in the suburbs, not in Manhattan. Cars are going too slow in Manhattan to kill anybody normally. Usually at Queens Boulevard.
Well, yeah, certain Queens Boulevard is notorious for.
And the last three people that died were all in their 70s and 80s.
Well, don't forget, last week you had the problem with the bus drivers. having that blind spot, where they couldn't see, and
Yeah.
they killed two people that we know of, elderly people just crossing the street.
Yeah, well, that's how the 11 people, I'm sure, died. Just crossing the streets. Oh, yeah. I think my microphone was turned off again. I think I'm going to have to get one where I can see when it's off.
Well, you got to be careful, are you registering on there? It looks like you are.
Well, now I am, but I wasn't a second ago when I looked. But I'm not always looking at it because I'm doing other things. But, if it was red, you and I would notice it the way it's supposed to be.
Very true.
It seems like my equipment is malfunctioning. When I have my microphone turned off, it's supposed to be red. But now, it doesn't go red when it gets turned off. So at times it gets turned off and I forget to turn it back on because I have no reminder until I actually look at the mixer, and then I realize something's wrong. But I may be doing other things at the time also. So all these good arguments that we have with discussions that the Dr. Marc and I have sometimes, you may not hear my part of it, which is not good. Well, let's see.
Not working. Well, I got it turned back there.
That's real disrespect. The audience started to just laugh and talk while we're doing a show.
Well, it's a sign of the times. It's just a sign of the times.
How many more killings happened this week? Anything besides those two cops? Anything else of interest? Any more killings that we know of?
Not that I know of, no. Bill Maher, for those people who watch the Bill Maher show on Fridays, Bill Maher had Quentin Tarantino defending himself, about comments he made regarding the police in general, whether it's the NYPD or the LAPD or Philadelphia police. And he said that much of what he said was sort of taken out of context. Well, what do you expect? He said, if you see something that is blatant murder, such as the shooting of the guy in South Carolina who was running away, they made the stop, they tasered him, and he was running away, the cop pulled his gun and shot him and hit him twice, whatever. He was pointing out that certain things are blatant acts of murder, He said he's not anti-cop per se, but that's the way it's being perceived, and that's the way it's being reported.
Well, I heard what he said, and but he was pretty negative, though, about cops.
Well, it's pretty hard to say anything other than that otherwise, because he really didn't say anything positive, But
and there was that guy in New York that got killed. Forgot his name.
Eric Gardner.
Yeah.
The guy selling cigarettes.
Yeah, he said that was a blatant murder, too. And yet, the police.
Yet my son said that when you talk about a chokehold, there are different ways to describe what a chokehold is, and you're talking about a 350-pound man, and the police officer weighed about 185 pounds.
Yeah.
He's given away about 100, almost twice his size.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, Eric Gardner. When they were trying to subdue him, he just sort of should have gone down to the ground.
He should have done what they asked. That's what that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, but I've always said the bottom line is that Eric Gardner's family came to some monetary agreement with the city and the NYPD. It's just amazing how a lawsuit of about $4 million, a check for $4 million, all of a sudden